everyone. My name is Jennifer Trong, and I'm currently an undergraduate student here at the University of Guelph. I'd like to welcome you to the College of Biological Sciences Convocation ceremony this morning. The University of Guelph is honored by our graduands, and we take great pride in this convocation. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the proceedings today. The ceremonials used for conferring degrees have evolved over millennium, and the gowns and hoods represent that history. In general, the gowns for the baccalaureate and magisteriate degrees are black, and the hood is different for each degree program. The doctorates at the University of Guelph have a bright blue gown, and the honorary degrees are an even brighter color. The University of Guelph crest that you can see on the curtains behind me and shown on the cover of the Convocation program also represents our specific history. The emblems in the crest show links with the royal city of Guelph through the white stallion above, the connection to the liberal arts through the book, to the sciences through the astrolabe, and our connection to abundance and agriculture through the cornucopia. The University of Guelph motto, Rerum Cognoscere Causis, is a quote from Virgil. It is variously translated to be either, happy is the one who is able to ascertain the reason of things, or perhaps to know the meaning of things. The procession of people into the hall are also influenced by ancient tradition. The piper will herald the start of the procession of graduands, the students coming to graduate today. This will be followed by the arrival of the mace leading the platform party. The mace is a symbol of authority of the university and will be carried by the beadle. In medieval universities, a beadle was chosen by the instructor to work as an assistant. Today, the beadle is a ceremonial officer of Senate. Following the beadle and mace is the president, chancellor, members of the administration and the honorees, fellows of the university, members of the board and senate, and members of faculty and staff. The degrees will be conferred in the order that you see in your program. The degrees are separated by representing specific degree being awarded within the college. The name reader will announce the degree being awarded at the start of each category. As the name of each student is called, the beadle will place the hood over the recipient's shoulders. This moment will be videoed, and technology willing, there will be a simultaneous live cast of the event to allow family members and friends to watch from a distance. The chancellor will then confer the degree. We understand the joy and excitement accompanying such an auspicious occasion, but we ask that you hold your applause until after each group of graduands has crossed the stage. There will be an opportunity for a truly thunderous applause after each group has graduated. Once all the degrees are conferred and all the cheers are cheered, the chancellor will close the ceremony and a recessional will play. Please remain standing during the recessional until all the platform party and the graduates have processed out of the hall. May I be the first person to congratulate the graduands on their various successes and offer my congratulations to the family and friends who are here to support them. Welcome to Convocation at the University of Guelph. Thank you.
Canada, our home and native land. True patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
I invite you to receive these words of invocation. On this day of celebrated accomplishment, we are filled with gratitude, thankful that our diverse paths have been brought together, thankful for the friends that have journeyed with us, for families that have supported us, and for dedicated faculty and committed administration. As we step off this stage and into the play of life, may our knowledge be coupled with wisdom, that we might impact the world for the better. May we be filled with continued wonder and compassion, that we might enrich the lives of those around us. Enable us to explore and embrace, so that the play of life might resonate with peace. In the gift of love we pray. Amen. You may be seated.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Vice Chancellor, members of the board, fellows, faculty and staff, family and friends, and graduands, welcome to the celebration of Convocation at the University of Guelph. I'd also like to extend a special welcome this morning to our honorary degree recipient, James Spudich, who will be formally introduced to you in a moment. I'm Maureen Mancuso, the Provost and the Vice President Academic, and I'm privileged to have the honor of opening this ceremony on behalf of the university. And I'd like to officially congratulate you, our graduands, on your momentous achievement. I hope you will join me in thanking the many people, family, friends, and mentors who have supported, encouraged, and assisted you in the pursuit of your studies. Today, we mark the end of one chapter of your lives and the beginning of a new one. You made it here today through years of effort and hard work. Now it's time to turn towards other goals and new challenges of increasing complexity and impact. Your journey of learning did not begin here at Guelph, nor does it end here today. If anything, it builds upon your experiences of the last few years to become more arduous, more enlightening, more productive, and more fulfilling. You came here to develop the possibilities and resources of your own minds. You came here to change your lives, to devote some time learning essential skills and acquiring knowledge, to challenge yourself and extend your capabilities. Here, in our community of scholars, you had the freedom to learn about yourselves and to learn about the world. We hope you learned a great deal about how you will fit into and affect the world. We hope you see your path more clearly and that you see how your contributions on that path can lead to a better world. We have tried to help you prepare by opening your eyes to ideas that you might not have encountered, cultures of which you were unaware, perspectives that complement and sometimes contrast with your own. We have tried to help you to think critically, to reject simplistic answers to complex questions, and to refuse the empty satisfaction of half-truths and partial solutions. Ultimately, though, we have shared with you one fundamental lesson. There's always more to learn. It's now up to you to start applying that lesson and those skills. We send you forth as representatives of the University of Guelph. We know you will make us proud, and we hope you're proud to wear the Guelph name. As you probably noticed, even when you were first applying to universities, we eagerly call attention to the exploits of our graduates. Be one of those people whose accomplishments we trumpet. Be someone who makes a mark on the world, someone who demonstrates the power and the potential of higher education. Take this responsibility seriously, because to quote my favorite fake American president, the West Wing's Jed Bartlett, decisions are made by those who show up. So now I say to you graduates, flush with the pride and powers of the finest education we know how to provide, show up. Show up in your own lives and live them critically, live them wisely. Show up in the lives of others, family, friends, and strangers, and make them better, directly or indirectly, however you can. Show up in the world, not just as pictures on Facebook, but as someone who makes a difference, even if that difference is harder to discern and doesn't go viral on YouTube. Most especially, show up as active, aware, caring citizens of your country, your city, your world. And that means tomorrow voting in our provincial election. Wherever your future leads you, please don't forget that even though you may no longer be on campus, you are still a part of our community. Your association with Guelph, like your journey of learning, is lifelong. We hope you will feel welcome to return from time to time to share your accomplishments and experiences with your fellow alumni, your former professors, and the future students who will follow in your footsteps. And so once again, I bid you welcome. Enjoy this ceremony, take pride in what it represents, and remember all of those people who have helped to make today possible. I offer you my personal congratulations and every best wish.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to read the citation for the honorary degree recipient today. If I'm a little nervous, it's because science, like a university, is a family. And in a way, I'm somewhat of a family with some of the students that I taught. Our honorary degree recipient today was my postdoctoral supervisor, my direct mentor. So if I get a little emotional, it's because of that. He's my scientific father. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate of the University of Guelph, it is my great honor to present to you James A. Spudich for the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa. Dr. James A. Spudich is the Douglas M. and Nola Leishman Professor of Cardiovascular Disease and Professor of Biochemistry at Stanford University. He's a scientific leader and visionary in the field of muscle research, whose work has been pivotal in helping us understand how our bodies convert chemical energy from food into mechanical movement, and how molecular motor proteins generate force to drive other essential life processes. Dr. Spudich's work has always been marked by an interdisciplinary approach to biological problems, and he has been a leader in establishing interdisciplinary research more globally. Thus, he was the co-founder and first director of BioX, a multidisciplinary program in biological engineering, medicine, and science at Stanford. Dr. Spudich has published more than 200 peer-reviewed manuscripts and book chapters and has delivered an impressive list of keynote and plenary lectures. He was president of the American Society for Cell Biology in 1989 and has held positions on the advisory boards of several international institutes and is also a member of several scientific societies. He has served as chairman of Stanford's Department of Structural Biology and the Department of Biochemistry. He has received many prominent honors. He was elected a member of the National Academy of Sciences in 1991. He has been a fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences since 1997 and a fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science since 2001. Among many outstanding distinctions, too many to list today, Dr. Spudich received in 2012 the Albert Lasker Award for Basic Medical Research, together with two close colleagues. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an incredible honor and is sometimes called the American Nobel Prize. It's okay. Indeed, about half of the Lasker awardees go on to win a Nobel Prize. That is the caliber of man we have today. In recognition of his many outstanding contributions, I ask you, Mr. Chancellor, to confer upon James Spudich the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
By the authority of the Senate of the University of Guelph, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Science. Congratulations. Dr. James Spudich will now deliver the convocation address.
Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, students, fantastic, congratulations. Nearly, you're almost there. Parents, congratulations, you're almost there. I'm, of course, incredibly and deeply honored to be here. I've never been to Guelph before, so this is a great pleasure. It's a wonderful university, I can see. And I do know something about it because of my associations with John, largely. So it's just a terrific pleasure to be here, a great honor, and what else more can I say than that, really? Interestingly, I looked up to try to find out what month in 1964 the university was founded, because I was married in 1964, also celebrating my 50th anniversary. So perhaps that's why I was invited to come, I don't know. Anyway, my congratulations to all of you. It takes quite a while to get through this process, but you're just at the beginnings, believe me. It seems like yesterday that I was in your shoes. I come from a small town in Illinois, not that far away from here. And I went to the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana in the chemistry curriculum. And I very much remember my graduation day. It seems like yesterday, although it was a number of decades ago. Over those decades, I've gained some perspectives. You live quite a rich life if you're lucky, and I've been very lucky. And those perspectives are some of those perspectives I look forward to sharing with you in a few minutes today. I won't talk very long. You've all been trained in some aspect of biological sciences or agriculture and so on. And you'll go in many different directions from here, I'm sure. But whatever you choose to do, a main perspective is think about being creative, you know, and that word is bantied around a lot, but it's a very important word, because creativity is really what you should really be striving for throughout the rest of your life, as you've undoubtedly been doing so far in your life. Really, there's no more satisfying experience in my mind than to challenge yourself to be creative, to work really hard toward that goal, and then to achieve it, which I guarantee you will. although it can take a long time, but it's worth the pursuit. So I'm first and foremost a scientist, as John indicated, and an educator. I've been at Stanford since 1977 on the faculty, and before that at UCSF. Let me speak a little bit about what science means to me, because you all have enjoyed science up to this stage, and you can tell me afterwards informally what you all plan to do if we have a chance as you go forward. I'd be very interested. For me, science is about, first of all, of course, just the pure joy of discovery. I so much appreciate still that I can spend my time in what really is the boyhood or girlhood pursuit of understanding how things work. You know, we all grow up as a kid wondering about these things every day, and a lot of times in society, people are forced to sort of grow up and lose that wonder, and that's really a shame. I'm one of those lucky kids who never had to grow up, and I still appreciate that. Interestingly, I think there are two distinct and almost contradictory aspects of the daily life of a scientist, which I suspect you're going to run into no matter what you decide to do. First of all, one aspect is a very private kind of existence that requires a great deal of solitude. And the other demands extensive networking with other individuals, fellow scientists, students, if you're an educator, people from other walks of life. Creativity in science really requires both that solitude and that community interaction. So I like to think of the scientist, and I don't know how many of you feel this way about science. I hope many of you do. It's sort of like the artist who sits, you know, in solitude on the hillside in the sunset, trying to capture the image of that moment on her canvas, or a musician who spends hours in the privacy of a quiet place, striving to construct something beautiful and meaningful. Again, I'm so very grateful to have been able to spend nearly my entire life exploring the beauty of biology, to challenge my own creativity, and to contemplate, often in solitude, the underlying basis of biological problems that I continue to work on. So as is true for the artist and the musician, that solitude is essential for creativity to emerge. And you have to seek that as you go forward. But science also is a community enterprise, as I indicated. And as a member of that community, one enters into fruitful collaborations, which often lead to insights that neither scientist alone may have made. That's also true between me and my postdocs, especially really very good postdocs like John Dawson was. Then there's the opportunity to train others, which many of you will enjoy. I've had the privilege to train more than 100 very bright students over my career, and they remain members of my personal scientific family, and I just love it when they choke up at the podium. Dr. Dawson was one of my students who truly reached for that brass ring on the merry-go-round, tried to break through one of the toughest problems in our field. That's what you want to do. You want to have the persistence that he has, the incredibly hard work ethic that he has, the optimism that he has. These are all really indispensable assets that you have to carry forward. You're fortunate, I have to say, to have someone with his dedication, energy, and intellect to be one of your faculty. I'm sure you very much enjoy him in the classroom. I often tell young people, and I'll tell you today, that whatever you choose to do, be sure to search hard and find something that you really love. I'm sure you hear this. Hopefully you hear this from your parents and everyone else. It's really critical. Think about find something you really love and then think about it all the time. You know, go to bed thinking about it, dream about it, wake up in the morning with new ideas for the day and be excited to get up to go in and do whatever you're doing. This may sound a bit obsessive, but I'm really serious. And I still do this. I woke up this morning having had a dream because I read some email from one of my postdocs last night before going to sleep about some experiments he's doing, and I dreamt about those, and I woke up this morning, and before I went to breakfast, I sent him an email with some ideas. And it's wonderful to be able to live that way, and to wake up excited about the day and what you want to do. But as scientists, we also have opportunities, I'd say even obligations, to try to translate our knowledge into I guess I'd say for the world at large, for meaningful uses in general. I mean, that can be, I'm very associated with a couple of biotech companies that I founded, which have things in clinical trials that come largely from 40 years of very basic research. And that's an obligation I think I have. If those work, it really may have a very profound effect on society. And that's part of why we do all the basic research we do. Finally, I want to say how important it is to be part of and to enhance the public education system of the country you're from. You know, you tend to take it for granted that you were able to spend these years at a great university like Guelph and get this wonderful experience that will take you forward. Don't take that for granted. You know, as I said, I come from a small town in Illinois, population under 1,000. You know, my grandfather came from Zagreb and settled in this little coal mining town. My mother grew up 5 miles away in another little coal mining Polish settlement, and I grew up in that environment. And somehow, the public education system in the States brought me here to give this convocation address to you. So I've never taken that public education for granted. So I'll close with this strong plea that all of you, as you go forward, no matter what you choose to do, work hard to maintain and improve your public education system. Make sure your children and your grandchildren have the opportunities you've had. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Spudich, for those personal and encouraging words. Well, the moment has now arrived. Will members of the graduating class please rise? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Will members of the graduating class please be seated?
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin with the formal proceedings, I have a small but significant request for you. Now, today is a day of great celebration, and understandably it's one in which we all want to participate. Many of you, as your graduate crosses the stage, may feel audibly moved to show your enthusiasm, and that is absolutely fine. In fact, we encourage you to do so if you feel so inspired. However, we would ask you to hold your collective applause until the very end, at which point I will give you the secret signal and you may burst spontaneously into rapturous applause. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science, that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science in the Honours Programme. Rishabh Singh Ahluwalia. Hussein Al-Shahabi. Joshua Aaron Aruda Antunes. With distinction, Justine Louisa Aruda Antunes. With distinction, Andrea Ardula. Michael William Ray Astin. Amrita Basra. With distinction, Robert Peter Belai. Caitlin Margaret Biddy, accompanied by Mungo. With distinction, Henrietta Blinder. With distinction, Kelly Faye Boddington. Sheena Marie Bowe. James Arnold Boyle. Eleni Kristen Brennan. With distinction, Haley Cahill. With distinction, Daniel Thomas Cervoni. Daniel Chen. Theodore Chung. Travis Clements Khan. With distinction, Megan Lee Kuhn. John Corsten. Christopher Chenetsky. Erin Melissa de Jong. Alexandria Christine de Peda. Kirin Lorraine Devlin. Kyle Dixon. Adam Adrian William Donkers. Graham Lawrence Dozois. Jennifer Duong. With distinction, Dylan Ronald Engel. Nazifa Fatima. Lauren Nicole Fernick. Andrea Louise Fisher. With distinction, Ryan Peter Flaminio. With distinction, Robert Frank. Stephanie Megan Froll. Chelsea Elizabeth Kelly Garncars. Megan Bright Geddes. Megan Victoria Giannidis. Diana Gora. William Maxwell Hargreaves. Sean Patrick Harrington. Kelsey Diane Henry. Jordan Emmett Herman. Megan Alana Hill. Tui Hoang. Julia Catherine Hooker. Lindsay Marie Iftodi. Jessica Irene Irvin. With distinction, Janine Jackson. With distinction, Megan Ann Jackson. Courtney Ann Janice. Himali Jayasuriya. Ericus Kermatis. With distinction, Andrea Catherine Kerelik. Shannon Lee Klingel. With distinction, Tyler Renwick Kuntz. Andrew Theodore Kwan. Adrienne Giselle Lade, with distinction. Tim Wing Him Lau. Emma Lee Laverty. Jason Laws. With distinction, Roxana Laluski. Hayden Liu. Kyle Tilson Liu. Stephen Lizak. Kaylee Lundy. Sarah Mary Agnes MacArthur. Jacob Francis Mackenzie. Nalini Mahabir. With distinction, Sukriti Mala. Jennifer Krista Manisto. Kyle Stephen Mary. Monique Mathers. With distinction, Beverly McClanahan. With distinction, Kegan James Mackay. With distinction, Cody Everett Miller. Catherine Elizabeth Monahan. Kayla Marilyn Murray. With distinction, Catherine Laura Nevin. With distinction, Christine Marie Nowakowski. Charlene Danielle O'Brien. Graham Connor O'Hanlon. Anya Olivares. Erin Pardy. Victoria Parker. Kirsten Ann Paula. With distinction, James Martin Pemberton. Sarit Perlman. With somebody's happy. With distinction, Dominic Pike. With distinction, Alexis Platek. Daniel Popovich. Nicole Rosalie Helena Pupar. Astrid Kitoriano. With distinction, Christine Joel Wrights. Daniela Santos. With distinction, Karen Brianna Sherby. With distinction, Adam James Henry Shoji. With distinction, Ari Michael Shaw. Evan Bolton Stevens. Kaylee Eileen Tate. Leslie Ann Victoria Taylor. Madeline Christine Teed. Joseph Willie Timpano. With distinction, Stephen Tran. Hilary Megan Turk. Alexandra Ullman. Benjamin van der Stee. Judith Marie van der Ven. Sarah May Vermeulen. Christy Lee Verticic. Carolyn Wang. With distinction, Ian Edward Willett. Jessica Marie Wilson. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Biological Science that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science in the general program. Jennifer Lynn Burton. Ashley Nicole Evans. Ashley Francis Fiscalini. Alicia Grillet. Benjamin Mahoney. Suruchi Molek. John Michael Rutherford. Joshua Emerson Smuck. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been wonderfully restrained. It's time to raise the roof. Let's congratulate our latest graduates.
How about you give it up one more time for the dean, who did a great job with all the names? Mr. Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program, but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduands not present.
Mr. Chancellor, so, you did it. You actually finished. You've got your parchment, the piece of paper that proves it, and you're good to go. You are a graduate from the University of Guelph. You are a Guelph Griffin. But before you stride away from here, I'd like to spend a few moments thinking exactly what you do carry away with you, and what it really does mean to be a Griffin. Obviously, I hope you take a great deal of information with you, not the precise stuff that you covered in all of those classes. Although I hope it will be useful someday, my guess is quite a lot of it has already evaporated from your brains. What I hope is that you have taken away a passion to be a person who is critical, who is aware, and is a caring citizen, who can actually use information to generate knowledge and wisdom, and takes that to care about the planet and the people around you. I trust that you are a person who knows how to get things done, a person who really does want to change lives and improve life. So, as a piece of parting advice, I'd like you to consider the Griffin Code. I'd like you to think about the things that will actually help make you different in your own lives and perhaps in the lives of others. So I have a mantra to share with you, a list of words beginning with the letter L that might help. Help both define you and perhaps help you on some of the days when you feel less confident. Because let me assure you, no matter who you are, how successful you may appear to be, we all have days when moments of doubt creep in, moments when we wonder whether our struggles have really been worth it. So here are 7 L's. Number 1, live. Live your life to the fullest, every single moment of it. Push yourself to do something new. And try everything at least once. Everything. You'll never know whether you like it or not until you try, and in doing so, you might find something that you think is amazing. Or at least, you'll have a funny story to tell your friends about how you tried to do something really stupid. So live. The second is laugh. Laugh at yourself and with others. Nothing should ever be too serious not to find something to laugh about. When I first started to visit the refugee camps in Kenya, I was really puzzled. Despite the fact that these people have absolutely nothing, and in many cases I was looking into the faces that were really a facade for deep and unimaginable sadness and tragedy, these people laugh. Why on earth would they do that? And then I realized they laugh in the face of adversity to chase away gloom and to defy despair. They laugh to make their own lives better and the lives of other people. So live, laugh, and the third is learn. Never stop learning. Only by being alert to the changing world around you, by being flexible and alive to possibilities, and by taking time to really learn about a situation, will you be able to live a life that is filled with possibilities, change, and hope. So live, laugh, learn, listen. Only by truly listening to others will you really understand what is going on in this world. But don't just listen to them. Listen to your own heart. Deep down, all of us have a voice, a passion, a moral compass, a sense of what is right or wrong, what makes us happy or sad. Listen to that heart and work tirelessly to hear the beatings of its rhythm and the pulse of others to know how to act with courage and commitment. Live, laugh, learn, listen, leave. Know when it is time to go, when it is time to leave others and to move on so that they can take up the cudgels. Have confidence that the footprints you leave behind will make a difference because you have done your job well. Those prints will be an indelible mark on the lives of others. And the shifting sands of time will not wash them away, but create a permanent memento of what you have done and what you have achieved, but through the lives of others. Live, laugh, learn, listen, leave. And the sixth is something we all need: luck. All of us require that bit of special magic to see and seize the opportunities. So be on the lookout for them. They actually happen all the time, and they so often come from the work that you do. William Jefferson once wrote, "Opportunities," which I take to mean his word for luck, "usually comes dressed in overalls." That's his way of saying you've really got to put effort into making your own lives, and therefore your own luck. So live, laugh, learn, listen, leave, luck. And I'm sure you know what the seventh is. But I'm going to leave it for you to demonstrate. I'm going to ask the graduating class to stand up and turn round and face the people who have given you this for the last many years, and give them a thunderous round of applause. Thank you. Please sit down. So I don't know how many of you observed a beautiful human interaction then going on with the seventh L. It began with a few of you going until somebody way up the back there was going. You're now a fully fledged griffin. Go out and take on this world. For we really need you. In a world that is riven by injustice, that is challenged by dogma and prejudice and disadvantage, our absolute hope is you. Do something. Do something. I don't care whether you decide to be one of the world leaders and take on these incredible challenges that we face, or perhaps choose to do something that is far more significant. And that is to set out from today with the decision that every day from here on in, for the rest of your lives, you will strive to improve the life of one other person. And how do you do that? Actually, it's really simple. Do you remember there is an absolutely unique trait to humans among all animals. And that is that if you smile at a human being, no matter how upset, angry, miserable, fed up they are, they cannot help, eventually, but smile back at you, as I can see several of you are doing now. They cannot help it. And in doing so, you change the mood, you lighten the load, and you absolutely change their lives. Find ways to include people of all ages and stages, all genders and races in everything that we do to make this a better planet. So, take your parchment. Take the values and ideals that you have learned here. take your friendships, and armed with your Griffin code, get out of here. But before you go, I have one favor to ask. I would like to take a picture of you, a selfie, so that I can say that I am still associated with a fabulous future of which you represent. Thank you. Following Convocation, the Dean has made arrangements for a reception in the atrium of the Science Complex. I hope you will take the time to attend. The weather has not been awfully kind today, but either between here and there, I hope you will take lots of pictures. Those are the mementos that you will carry with you. They will be the ones that I hope when you come back for alumni weekend in 10, 25, 50, or as we'll have in a couple of weekends' time, people coming back to celebrate their 60th anniversary since graduation. And you'll take out those pictures as they do and say, haven't changed a bit. Take lots of pictures. Please remember to return your gowns. If you don't want to return them here in the tent, there is facility to return them over in the science atrium. We have 20 of these ceremonies this week, and there will be a load of people waiting outside in that direction, and if it's raining, there'll be a bedraggled crew desperate to get in here. So rather than have you crushed by the tsunami of them, when the procession has left the stage, could I ask you to leave by the 2 doors here fairly quickly, and then we'll know that our future will be reassured and you won't be crushed as they come in. I celebrate and salute your successes, and I wish you every success in the future. Thank you.
Convocation is dismissed.